Hello. Oh, I'm out of focus. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening, should I say? Because it's a slightly later than usual deadline. At least for me, 9 p.m. deadline. If you are in the UK, perhaps a little bit different timing depending on where you are in the world. But it's currently 7 p.m. UK, and we have 2 hours to go until deadline. And boy, it's a scorcher today. It's a hot one. Oh boy, it sure is. Sure is a hot one. No football shirt for me today. I just cannot be bothered to sweat through a football shirt for 2 hours. I was actually thinking, I'll stream a little bit earlier today, but it's just too hot, man, in this room. And we have a portable aircon unit, but yeah, my wife's using it, so can't use it in this room today. Oh well, we will survive. We will go on. Because it is, at least for me, a clean sheet shield week, I guess. Anyway, who is here today? Let's say hello. Let's say hello to a few people. I don't know how busy the stream will be today. I have noticed that the interest in World Cup fantasy has started to kind of gradually dip as we go week by week. However, guys, you are here, you are sticking it out, you're going to the very end of the tournament. You know, if you've made it this far, let's go all the way now. Let's see how high we can all finish. Stick it out, guys. It's worth it. It's worth it. And lots can still change, particularly if you still have any boosters left in the back pocket. So let's see who's here. We have got Clickers is here. We got Abhinav. Joe's here. Out you get said I subs. Thank you. Thank you very much for subbing. Molar VFX, you're here as well. Shals, FPL Bruno, Jeremy's here. Wow, a lot of people here. A lot of people. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? FPL Papaya here as well. What's up, guys? Yana. How are we feeling? How are we feeling ahead of the new deadline? Are we in a lot of trouble? I've seen some people in a lot of trouble. And, you know, it's part of the game. Particularly, you know, Brazil. If you have a lot of Brazil players, if you had a lot of Colombia players, maybe a little bit screwed over last match day. Maybe a little bit screwed over. It's part of the game, fellas. It's part of the game. It really is. Joe says, just been assigned Norway in a last 8 sweepstake, feeling conflicted. There is nothing to feel conflicted about. Come on, England first. The money is not going to buy you the happiness you will feel when your nation wins the World Cup. Not that I know how that feels, to be fair. Not that I know how it feels. Which jersey is that? The Sega one? That is an Arsenal 2001, 2002 away jersey. And it's one of the first Arsenal jerseys I remembered as a kid. So I had to buy it. As a business expense. It's part of the set. Okay, guys, it's a business expense. You know, I'm not wearing that. That's not a fashion thing. I'm not wearing that. That's a little too expensive. It's a little too expensive to be wearing around. Although I'd love to. You know, when Arsenal won the Premier League, I was so tempted to wear either that shirt or my bruised banana, which is the other one I have. This is the other kind of, like, these are like originals as well. Like classic Arsenal shirts. Oh, I would love it. I would love it. But it's just not worth getting them damaged or anything like that. How tall are you, Dan? About 6 foot, 6'1", somewhere in between there. Quite taller than I look on camera. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that for free. Got a few questions coming up out in the chat that are fantasy related as well. But guys, it doesn't all have to be fantasy related. We've got 2 hours till deadline, so if you've got any questions non-fantasy related, more than happy to have a chat about anything, because we do have a couple of hours. Best 4 million defender. The best 4 million defender is to not buy a 4 million defender, I think. I mean, let's check out the the website. Let's check it out. I have not made my transfers yet, of course. Obviously, like why would I? Why would I make a transfer when I can wait till the last minute for any team new? So we're not going to be locking in for a while, guys. I do apologize. Just the game. It's better to just wait for as much information as you can in these fantasy games. So I'm not going to disadvantage myself by locking in early. But yeah, well, one thing I did need to remember, to remind myself, to remind you guys, is to like the stream, because I always forget to ask people to like the stream. So if you're here early and you're ready to go, drop a like on the stream. It takes 1 second of your life, barely that. I reckon those more skilled likers among you could probably like the video in an effort that takes under 1 second. I'm sure. So under 4 million defender. Let's see what's about. I can tell you that no team that is like likely to win has a 4 million defender. And your best bet is maybe going to be from Norway. But even then, you're looking slightly above. Hegum, okay. Yeah, I think genuinely, if you're genuinely looking sub 4 million, Hegum may be the only option. But I'm not really convinced by this one. Norway conceding every game. They've conceded some of the most chances of any team in the tournament. And fair enough, they have had some tough games. But, yeah, man. Hal in dead spot, surely. If you already have Hal, yeah, if you want to dead spot it, yeah, totally fair enough. I don't think Hal's starting today. So it would be truly a dead spot. I think Chadi Riyad's going to come back into the starting level. Muller Wolf. Oh, yeah. Okay. 4 million on the dot. Muller Wolf. Good point. Yeah, so Muller Wolf as well. This is, I think, the best you're going to get, because there's nothing. I know a lot of people will be hoping for someone like Medina at 4 million for Argentina. His name is Medina. He plays for Argentina. Yeah, I know some people perhaps be hoping for him, but I think I'm pretty much 70% sure Tagliafico will start at this point and 30% Medina. So, like, particularly if you're on a clean sheet shield right now, I wouldn't even bother with the risk, because, like, no matter what you do, there's sufficient risk behind Medina. So I wouldn't touch him. Certainly wouldn't be buying him. If you already have him, then, you know, there's maybe some temptation to take the risk. It's not for me. But yeah, in terms of England, you're not going to have any 4 million defenders there. The cheapest, you know, reliable player for minutes is, I don't know. I mean, O'Reilly at 4.7. You just go there, I think. I think you just go O'Reilly. Then for France, to be fair, like going back to Argentina, I think just above, if you are happy to take a little bit of a punt, because Tagliafico himself, I wouldn't say is guaranteed minutes either, on kind of in the opposite direction. You know, I said, you know, Medina 30%. That means Tagliafico 70%. Like, there's no guarantees Tagliafico is going to start. Spence for England, I'm not convinced. I think there's a very significant chance that we could see Esri Konsa kind of slot in as a kind of a right back. Do we get any more money in the game now? Nah, we do not. Jonah just says, hello, Dan. Somehow I just found out that you do World Cup content. I'll turn notifications on now. My friend, I have been doing World Cup content for the past, like, a long time. It feels like a long time, probably like 5 weeks now. We've been going a while, but glad you found eventually. Drink water, Dan, says Abhinav. I can't do you a water, but what I can do is a nice, refreshing orange squash. Oh, we love it. So yes, Argentina, you could take a punt, 4.3 million Tagliafico. I don't think Molina is 100% safe either. I think, you know, the more I've been researching over the past day, the more convinced I am that if you are trying to play a safe game where you want to maximize your clean sheet shield, I think Martinez and Romero are kind of the way forward. Everyone else has at least some risk. And of course, some people might be like, yeah, I'm fine with a bit of risk. I'll just take a punt on Tagliafico. I'll just take a punt on Molina. But there is that chance that Medina comes in for Tagliafico. There is that chance that Montiel comes in for Molina. So I'm not like 100% sure, particularly if like Molina's gonna jump above 5%. I can be reasonably confident in that. Like 4.9 now, he's surely jumping over 5%. So like, what is the real benefit of going for him over a Romero? If anything, I prefer Tagliafico just because I think he looks good for a scouting bonus. But you have to remember, guys, and this is really, really important, the scouting bonus applies before the clean sheet shield points. So say, you know, Argentina were to concede 1 goal, you get your 7 points from your defender for the clean sheet and the points for playing as well. You don't get scouting bonus on top of that, sadly. So there we go. Romero was playing striker when he scored versus Egypt. Yeah. I mean, he is... I know technically Martinez has more attacking returns, but Romero, if you're looking at, you know, centre-back partnerships for each team remaining in the tournament, and you're looking for the kind of who is the aerial threat of the two at Argentina, it is Romero. He is that aerial presence, far more so than 5'6" Lisandro Martinez. Christopher says, why not put some ice cubes in your juice? It's so hot, my dog Luna is loving her ice cubes, mate. Are you calling me a dog, Christopher? Is that what's... Am I panting like a dog? Is that what's going on here? The truth is, I don't have any ice cubes or ice cube trays in my house. I don't know. Perhaps it's an investment I should make. Do they play for that headed goal, though? I mean... it depends what you mean. I think maybe there is a perception that certain teams play for corners. And I think Arsenal in the Premier League probably didn't help that idea. But, like... I haven't really seen many strong patterns in terms of who is getting more corners other than strong teams versus weak teams. Because strong teams, weak teams are kind of sitting back, sitting within themselves a little bit. And I imagine Switzerland will do a similar thing. And by nature of that, there will be a lot of block shots. There will be a lot of shots from range that will end up in as corners. Kind of low quality shots that end up being, you know, rebounded behind the goal and corners given. So in that sense, playing for corners, don't really know if that's really been a thing at the World Cup for any team in particular. I don't think there's any team that's actively set out to score more set piece goals in particular, but we have definitely seen that, you know, taking long shots, playing against deep blocks naturally generates more corners. And I think that is something we could see from Argentina against Switzerland, getting maybe just a couple more corners than perhaps the average throughout a game. So yeah, in that sense, sure, yeah, Romero, corner set piece threat, like, you know, it could happen. You're rolling the dice a little bit. You don't know when you're going to get the set piece goal with these defenders, but you can put yourself in positions to be lucky. And one other point really regarding centre-backs versus full-backs. Now, this is not the case for all full-backs, but what we have also seen a lot is we kind of see this all the time in football generally, but we see the full-backs, the left-back and the right-back, are kind of more predisposed towards getting assists, and the centre-backs, and often from open play, and the centre-backs from these set pieces, more predisposed towards getting goals. And because there is quite a rather large gulf between, hang on, I'll just show you. There's a rather large gulf between the points awarded for goals versus assists for defenders specifically. So 3 points for an assist and 7 points for a goal. It does make me think, you know, it is taking a risk on that goal threat potentially worthwhile. Maybe. So I don't mind it. But yeah, let's go through some of the other defenses. Actually, let's go through the chat, see what you guys are asking. Shy Guy Racing says, thoughts on Nico O'Reilly? Nailed. I'm using the clean sheet booster. Yes, he's certainly nailed. He's certainly going to play, in my opinion. And I really would only consider him if using the clean sheet booster. I think it's time to bust out FPLjoe.com, because what we can see here is a 31% clean sheet chance for England. That's not ideal. But if you add the 34% chance of, this is basically a 34% chance of England conceding just once, you now get a 65% chance of getting clean sheet points if you're applying the clean sheet shield from an England defender. So if you're not using a clean sheet shield, really, I'd only be looking at Argentina, France, and Spain. I wouldn't be looking outside that. However, even though England are going to have weaker kind of clean sheet potential, what O'Reilly offers you is first a decent price tag. 4.7 million is a very, very nice price tag for what you get for an England defender generally. But on top of that, really, O'Reilly genuinely has huge attacking threat. He has creative threat. He's one of the most creative defenders left in the tournament. He is one of the very, very best for attacking threat remaining in the tournament. He's taking pretty much at least a shot per game. And really, only Hakimi and De Kuiper are anywhere near him in terms of kind of goal threat so far this tournament. As you know, because they're kind of ultra attacking fullbacks in the sense that they're not really even defenders. They're more like, you know, marauding forward midfielders kind of thing. So yeah, O'Reilly looks really, really good in that regard. I appreciate that goes against my, you know, my chat about, you know, centre backs typically being better for kind of goal threat, but yeah, certain fullbacks certainly break that mold. Certainly break that mold. Right. Is Mbappe or Upamecano with a clean sheet a better captain? Oh, definitely Mbappe. Remember, clean sheet shield points. Actually, can someone verify this? Clean sheet shield points aren't doubled for captaincy, are they? They're not. Dylan Coco says, hi, mate. Who's your top 3 under 5% midfielders? Well, let's take a look, because I have a feeling some of the midfielders I did like have gone above 5%. So my first one's going to be Gordon. Where are you? Oh, we need to go midfielders, don't we? So first one's going to be Gordon of England. Oh, he's above. There we go. He's above 5%. Okay. So the first one's ruled out. Second one was going to be Baena. 7.1%, of course. Losing the will to live. Desiree Doué. If he's starting, we'll find out in like 10 minutes. If Doué's starting. Genuinely interesting option. Genuinely interesting. Let's also check Dani Olmo. 3%. Okay, I will definitely happily slip Olmo into the conversation. And what else? You get the bonus, it just doesn't double. Yeah, okay. So basically, for anyone wondering about the booster chips, how they work, how they've been coded into the game. I need to find a third midfielder here as well. I don't know how I'm going to do that. The way they've been coded into the game, maybe someone from Argentina, McAllister? 8.9, no. Enzo Fernandez, where are you? There you are. 4.7. Maybe you'll throw in Enzo there as well. But the way that the boosters have been coded into the game is that the points that you gain from the booster are applied last. So when you're getting points for goals, assists, your players playing, your yellow cards, your clean sheets, etc., etc. You're getting points for all of these different ways as standard. Then after that, your captaincy is applied. So the points are doubled at that point. After your players score their points, they're doubled. And then after that, the booster points are applied. So your scouting bonus comes before that, before captaincy as well. But after captaincy, you get your qualification booster applied. So an additional 2 points after the captain points have been doubled. You get your clean sheet shield points are applied after your captaincy as well. So yeah, that's the way that one works. So you're not going to get clean sheet shield points doubled. So I don't think, we're not talking about captaining defenders or anything like that, because it doesn't work like that at all. Saka is under 5%. Would I throw Saka in this conversation, though? I'm not sure he's... the value for money thing, 9.5 million. It's not really there. We are at a point in the game, though, that the kind of player pool has shrunk so much. It's so small that actually there's not really many genuinely good players below 5%. Because if they're genuinely a good player and there's not many of them left, then more than 5% of managers are going to pick these players up. Rashford, absolutely not. I don't even expect Rashford to start again this tournament, really. Gordon is, I think he's nailed down that left wing position. So there we go. Best 6.1 million midfielder, probably Baena. But scouting bonus is gone. Really, yeah, if you're looking at this cheap kind of area, there is a small risk, I should say, with Alex Baena. There is some risk that he doesn't start. And a huge, enormous risk. It's pretty much guaranteed that he will be subbed early. So small risk he doesn't start. High risk he gets subbed early. So be careful about that one. If that bothers you, then don't pick him. If it doesn't bother you, pick him. Pick him. Easy as that. Easy as that. I have a clean sheet shield and max captain left. What do you recommend? The clean sheet shield. Get your max captain. Save it for Matchday 8. Save it for Matchday 8. That's the optimal play, in my opinion. And yeah, get that. I'm going to start doing my team, I think. Or just, get something roughly right. I'm going to put my booster on now as well, because I don't... Why can't I click it? Okay, I need to do it here. I'm going to do this now just because I don't want to risk forgetting. And I can cancel it anytime. If for some reason I change my mind, which I will not. Which I most certainly will not. So let's make some transfers. Let's put in what I had in my team selection video from yesterday. And then we will tweak as necessary between now and deadline. So, hey Jude. We're going to go just defenders from this point onwards. So it's going to be Romero. It's going to be O'Reilly. And I'm going to pick a France defender, but I really cannot decide. I'm really struggling with this one. I'm really struggling. Now, the good thing is, if I were to go for Digne, then we do see France have the early kickoff. So I know if Digne is going to play this week, but also the early kickoff in the semi-finals, presuming that France make it through. I'm going to get the early kickoff there as well. So for back-to-back weeks, I'll know if he's going to start or not. But I'm actually... I'd only be picking him for the slightly cheaper price tag for 5 million. If I'm being totally honest, I've not really seen any particular evidence that his attacking threat really is any greater than an Upamecano or a Koundé. So I think I'm most tempted to just go for Koundé. He does have, some open play attacking threat. And also, he has had like some, or at least one. Yeah, there we go. He has had some like slightly early subs. Yeah, there we go. You can see here, guys. 83-minute sub there, 87-minute sub there, 75-minute sub there. I kind of like that in a way. That's kind of like a little bit of an advantage because, you know, if we're in the knockout stage now, if a player is genuinely playing until 120 minutes, that's an extra 30 minutes that they could potentially concede a goal. So I think for that reason, Koundé could genuinely like get that tiny little advantage on some of these other defenders. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Koundé. Lukib in the chat says we've seen a lot of 85+ minute goals. So true, man. So true. Tom says Digne scored 0 Premier League goals last season. He's not really got that much attacking threat, really. Like, I think he used to be known as like a marauding left back with, you know, all this set piece threat. But he's not, you know, he's not going to be taking set pieces ahead of like Elise, Dembele, Mbappe. Bellingham yellow card, a worry he would miss next game. He would. Same applies for Elise, to be fair. I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered by it, to be totally honest with you guys. Let's throw in Jules and have a look at this team. So this is kind of what I'm repping right now. 0.6 in the bank remaining. I pretty much like this team. There's not very much that can go wrong that I don't already know about. Like particularly in the defense. Like there's nothing really that can go wrong here in the defense. Everyone's as guaranteed as you can be for minutes. No backup goalkeeper, but like I'm fine with no backup goalkeeper on a clean sheet shield, to be honest. And you know, lots of favourites in their games as well. I'm happy with this, man. I like this. It looks good. Anyone cheaper than 5 million? Not that's likely to get points. I mean, the one that sticks out in my mind immediately. Let's open a new tab here, quick. When are the lineups? There'll be lineups out in a couple of minutes. I want to go player pool. Do I have to click here? Here we go. Okay. The one that sticks out immediately for sub 5 million midfielders is like maybe looking at Norway. Because you can get this burger, Sander Burger, for 4.7 million. Who is going to play? Outside of that, you're not going to get anyone from France. You're not going to get anyone from England. Even like Anderson, 6.5. You're not going to get anyone from Argentina, sub 5, really. Not really, no. Spain, again, no one's really sub 5. So after that, okay, who's the next best team after, you know, the big four of Argentina, England, France and Spain? It's Norway. So I guess you dip there. Sander Berg. No, is there anyone interesting from Morocco sub 5? No. Belgium. Unless I'm missing something. Nope, there is not. And Switzerland. There might be something from Switzerland, maybe. No, there's not. So the only starting midfielder remaining in the tournament is Sander Berger. Patrick Berg is 5.6. If you can afford to go for him, I would prefer him though. Like, I think he's got a little more attacking, well, a lot more attacking threat, really, compared to Sander Berger. What about Elise over Lamine Yamal? I don't see too much of a problem with doing that. Yeah, but I think that's absolutely fine. It's just a personal preference thing at that point. Thoughts on Porro? Yeah, he's good for this week. I expect him to start. What I am less convinced by is whether he will start the next game, because I think Llorente is a better defender. I think Llorente is a better defender than Pedro Porro. So actually, when we get to some of the tougher games, you know, France in the semi-finals, for example, if that were to be the game for Spain, and it's in all likeliness, it would be. It's a risk. You know, you might get him for this week, but will you get him for the following week? And if you think, yeah, I will, or you're just happy to take that risk, or you think, oh, I'll just transfer him back out next week, regardless, then at that point, yeah, absolutely, go for Porro. Is no Yamal an issue? We're at honestly, man, we're at a point in the tournament where you are going to be missing some big players, and you kind of just have to make peace with that. If I say, you know, I don't have Yamal, then okay, that means I probably don't have one of Bellingham or Elise or Dembele or Kane. I probably don't have one of those guys. You can't have them all, and you have to make peace with that. In my team, it's just kind of transpired that I'm backing against Spain. Not because I dislike Spain. Actually, I like Spain. I like Yamal. I like Yarthabal. I like these guys a lot as picks this week. But I can't fit them into my team, and I accept that. I accept that. It is what it is. It's fine. You know, I'm certainly not taking multiple hits to remove good players for other good players. You know, we saw a lot of people remove, like last match day, we saw a lot of people remove the likes of Bellingham and Haaland to replace them with, you know, a Dembele or a Kane. And, you know, sometimes that works out. But in the case of last match day, it didn't work out at all. Because all you're doing is you're switching out good players for other good players. And really, who knows which good player is going to be the most good player each match day? You're kind of just going to play what's in front of you, right? And just make peace with it. And that's very much my opinion on that. Upamecano or Koundé? I'm leaning Koundé. What about McAllister? Don't mind him as a pick. Yeah, if you want to go cheap. Don't mind him at all. Would you move Hakimi down to a 4 million defender to get Yamal in? Probably. If you're playing your clean sheet shield, no. But if you're not playing your clean sheet shield, I'd maybe go bin dipping for those cheap guys. All right, I think we might have lineups. FIFA.com. You are playing the clean sheet shield. No, I would try and keep it all defenders, players that you're reasonably convinced by. So these official lineups, believe they could be. Ethan's here. Hi, Dan, mate. Been subs to you since you started the channel. Was very active during those days. I remember, man. I remember. Unfortunately, can't be as active as I used to be. Hope all is well. And you member for 64 months, which is absolutely insane, by the way. Absolutely insane. Nah, Ethan, I remember you, of course, man. And thanks for sticking around, even if it hasn't been as active. It's all appreciated. So we've got Mike Magnon in goal. A defence of Digne, Upamecano, Koundé, Saliba, Manu Kone in midfield with Rabiot, Ousmane Dembele, Kylian Mbappe, Michael Elise, and Desiree Doué. So it is going to be... Yeah, we pretty much nailed it with the on the ticker. We'll update the ticker now. So Digne starts at left back. I'll just type that in. Against Morocco. And did I... Oh, I didn't even... Did I not put this in? Well, I was expecting Doué to start. Did I swear I made a note of this? Maybe not. Okay, in that case, we'll put it on screen. Bradley. Oh, wait. We'll just put Desiree Doué. Desiree Doué replaces Bradley Barcola. Cool. Nicole says, is it just me or are things getting sus at the World Cup? I'm not getting involved in that conversation at all. I am absolutely not getting involved. I've seen enough of this online. To anyone asking if this is my final squad, it's no. The answer is no. It is absolutely not my final squad. There is no final squad until deadline hits. Essentially, there is no final squad. So, if you're planning on copying my team, player for player, I mean, I can't stop you. I do think that is a little bit cheeky, to be honest. FPL Joe says clean sheet shield points do double with captaincy. Can you double check this? I don't know how I would double check this. Because everyone who used their clean sheet shield last match day kind of didn't really get any points out of it. So I don't know how we would test this. Joe, are you here? Or where did you see this? Did Joe put a tweet out or something? We need to look at Morocco when it comes in here as well. Morocco lineup out yet? No. Oh, wait. Do I have to click here? Yeah. Okay. So we've got Bono, Hakimi, Mazraoui, Diop. Salah-Ad-Din is in. Okay, so no Chadi Riyad or Hal. Bouhaddi, Talbi, Unahi, El Kanous, El Anawi, Brahim Diaz. Interesting. Very interesting. He tested it when South Africa played Canada and he found someone who had used the clean sheet shield on a South African goalkeeper and captain and the points doubled. Oh, right. Fair enough. Okay. Well, apparently that particular booster does apply pre-captain points. That's random. Fair enough. No, that's important. All right, so is it important? I don't know. Realistically, I'm still not captaining a defender outside of Cucurella. Like, there's so few captain choices throughout the match day. It's, you know, you're captaining Kane, you're captaining Mbappe, you're captaining Messi, and one player from the Spain game, who, depending on who you have. Maybe you don't have Kane, you go for Bellingham. Maybe you don't have a Yarthabal or Yamal, and you go for a Cucurella or a Baena. That may be enough to sway me towards captaining Cucurella on day 2, though. That may be enough. I can't believe people are waiting just to copy Dan's team. What's the point? I know. Don't get me started. I'm not going to get started. But no, there are some people who genuinely believe that the sole purpose of fantasy content creators is just to copy their team. I think it's so much more than that. I think it's to talk about fantasy football. I think it's just to share a passion of fantasy football between you guys as fans, me as a fan, just have a chat about it and just enjoy it together. Enjoy it together. Let's throw, you know what? Let's throw a red herring in. Should we throw a red herring in for those who are just logging into the stream, quickly copying the team and leaving again? Who should we put in defense, guys? If anyone got any creative suggestions on what player I can add in here? Mohammed here with a super chat says, thanks for your for the great World Cup vids. Can you quickly go over what would you do on a wildcard team? Teo Hernandez. If I put Teo Hernandez in, I'm just gonna Dan Burns hilarious. If I put Teo Hernandez in, everyone's gonna say, it's just gonna come into the chat and say, Dan, have you not seen the news? Dina's starting. But anyway, wildcard team. Okay, what would I do? Okay, so I go for a front line of Mbappe, Messi, and a Yarthabal rather than Kane, because I think the difference in value for money between, you know, I think Kane is slightly better than a Yarthabal as a pick, but I think a Yarthabal is better value for money, and I think saving that 2.5 million is going to be really, really useful in midfield. I'd go for Elise Dembele, Yamal, and Bellingham, and I'd make that fifth midfield slot probably Baena, to be honest. And then in defence, definitely Cucurella, definitely Lisandro Martinez. I would pick O'Reilly, to be or would I? No, I wouldn't pick O'Reilly because you don't have a clean sheet shield if you're on a wild card. I would pick probably at least one France defender, whether that's Digne, whether that's Upamecano, Koundé, dealer's choice kind of thing. I do still like Magnon as a goalkeeper more than others. And then, you know, maybe you throw in another Spain defender there as well. So, yeah. That's what I'd do. That's what I would do. I'd do something like that. Hopefully that's pretty much an entire wildcard team there. I've not tested it though, but I'm not going to remove all my players and add them all back in again for the sake of trying to build a wildcard team here. Yes, lineups are out. We have gone through them already. We went through them about 5 minutes ago. But yeah, I mean, just a reminder, a friendly reminder there. And I'm going to actually update my ticker at the bottom as well. So Saibari is not in the squad. Wait, was he in the squad, actually? I should double check the bench here. Is he on the bench? Oh, he is on the bench. He is on the bench. Okay. Saibari is on the bench. And Salah Edine starts. Chadi Riyad. And Redwan. Hal benched. Okay, I think that is the most important news of the coming from the lineup. Okay, we're good. We're good. Right, back to the chat. Is Manzambi confirmed out? No. Is Laporte a good shout for defence? Yeah, I think if I was to go for a second Spain defender here, then there's a very good chance that I would go for Laporte, to be fair. Because he does have, I think, significantly more aerial threat than Kabasi. And is, you know, nailed for minutes for the remainder of the tournament. Unlike Pedro Porro, who does have some rotation risk later on in the tournament. Seb on goals here. Highest goal threat defenders left in the top three. Very clear top three are Hakimi, who plays against France, Maxime de Kuyper, who plays against Spain, and Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly. Which is why I've thrown him in. Thoughts on keeping Llorente and hope? You'd have to hope very, very hard. Yeah, I cannot see Llorente starting against Belgium, to be honest with you, unfortunately. Rabiot or Gordon? Gordon, no-brainer, I think, there. Slim pickings, top 5. You want me to go a bit further? Okay. Let me... Defenders, it's so difficult. It depends what you're after. Like Pedro Porro and Marc Cucurella have looked pretty attacking as well, particularly creatively. So definitely I'll throw them into the conversation. Outside of that, yeah, I don't really know. Because there's plenty of players who have like a little bit of attacking threat, but nothing crazy. So we're looking at like Koundé, Upamecano, Laporta, Romero, Lisandro Martinez. And maybe the fullbacks at Argentina as well. Digne is, again, minimal attacking threat that we've seen during this tournament. And indeed, prior to that as well. So if we are looking for genuinely hugely attacking defenders, it is essentially Hakimi, De Kuyper, O'Reilly. They are genuinely, seriously attacking defenders. Goal threat you want? Yeah, it's Hakimi, De Kuyper, O'Reilly. And after that, you're kind of hoping for like a Laporte goal or a Romero goal or an Upamecano goal, which are not, you know, anything that's, you know, really anywhere near to being guaranteed, I would say. I mean, I would maybe throw in... Yes, Pedro Porro and Cucurella are more like creative, but they do take shots as well. So maybe with... And, you know, they are box crashing, particularly Cucurella's box crashing. So I would maybe still include Cucurella in there, but he's not on the same level as, like... I think O'Reilly is the one. If you're looking for a defender with goal threat and who doesn't really have such a bad fixture, Nico O'Reilly is the one. Outside of that, you are kind of picking players who do occasionally shoot and just hoping to get lucky. Yeah, that's the best I can do, man. No problem. Safe travels. Would you sell Medina or hold? I would sell if possible, particularly if you're on a clean sheet shield. Because I don't think he's going to start. Is it worth rearranging my team to move Baena to McAllister, or should I leave it? I mean, I would probably just keep Baena, to be honest. Unless you have a spare transfer, but I'm sure you can find a more useful way to use that spare transfer. Why Dan Burn? I just think he really gives morale to my team. I think he gives really good morale. Like, he is, you know, he's a big character and energy in the dressing room. He does a little robot dance. It's not a robot dance. That's Peter Crouch. He does a little Orange Justice dance. Very much a locker room pick, very much a locker room presence. And I like his aerial threat as well, for the 1 minute he might play at the end of the game against Norway. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely not going to be in my team by deadline. But for now, what he's doing is he's just motivating my squad in the build-up towards the deadline. And then when we actually are looking to do our starting 11, we'll take Dan Burn out. He's doing a really good job now. Just keeping my team motivated, keeping the spirits up, and then we'll take him off before deadline, I think. So that's why he's there. Soham says Hakimi to a 4.6 defender and Vinny to Yamal, or a 4-3, or Vinny to a Spain 8.6 million midfielder. There's not really a 8.6 million midfielder I like from Spain, to be honest. I'm not massively keen on anyone outside of Yamal and maybe Baena. But Baena really is there because he's so cheap. So I think I would potentially take the minus 3 there. Because there are some decent 4.6 midfielders to go for. If you don't have Lisandro Martinez, for example, he looks good. I mean, let's just go defenders here and rattle through a few of them. So we could go for Lisandro Martinez, as we mentioned. You could go to... Maybe there's not as many as I thought. Yeah, a lot of them are slightly above. O'Reilly's 4.7. Don't think I'd go for Jed Spence. You could take a punt on like a Molina or a Tagliafico as well there. Argentina defender's quite cheap, actually. Yeah, I'd certainly say if you don't have Martinez, I would go for him. Is Doué a great pick now that he's starting? I wouldn't say a great pick. I don't want to underestimate the Morocco defense, because they are a strong defense. Yeah, I feel like you could do it. You could do, but again, like you kind of are walking into a similar issue whereby just because he's starting this week doesn't mean he's going to be starting next week. And a lot of managers I've seen have found themselves in falling into traps where they're picking a player for 1 week, and then next week they've got a couple of players eliminated, a player injured, and suddenly they're quite restricted on their transfers and resolving situations. So my position would be minutes are the priority. That's my position. But those of you guys who want to take a bit more of a risk, I mean, go for it. My issue is it really worth the risk? What do we realistically expect as a, you know, to come out of the situation? Doué starts. Could he grab a couple of attacking returns? It's possible, but it's not super likely. But that said, if I was shopping around that, I wouldn't force the move, but if I was shopping around that price tag at the kind of like, I don't know, Gordon, Olmo, Doué price tag, he'd be in that conversation. He'd have to be in that conversation, I guess. So maybe you would throw him in. I don't know, man. In midfield, we're so limited to midfielders, and all of the best ones are so expensive. And if they're not super expensive, then it's probably because they've got some kind of issues, no matter how you look at it. Super chat here from Mo Pachau. We got there. Sorry, my friend. Haaland or Yarthabal for my 12th man, or any other? Good question. It would probably be between those two for me, unless you don't have like one of your Mal, Bellingham, Elise, or Dembele. If you don't have one of those four, I would maybe throw them into the conversation. But honestly, it is between Haaland or Yarthabal. The honest answer, and I know this is, you know, you've given a super chat, you expect me to give an answer. I don't think there's a right answer. There's so little to split those two picks. Now, if you were just using your budget to buy a player, I would say pick a Yarthabal, spend the rest of the money on someone else. Spain, we're expecting them to score goals against Belgium. We're expecting goals. A Yarthabal is the most likely player to be involved in those goals, but there are other outlets for that Spain team. Norway, on the other hand, not expected to score as many goals, but if Norway were to score, you'd say there's a very high probability that that is Haaland scoring the goal. So, arguably, a Yarthabal has the higher upside. So I guess a Yarthabal. But I don't think there's the right answer. If your gut tells you one way or another, go with your gut, is what I would say. If it's my team, and maybe there's some England bias in here, but I think I would put in a Yarthabal. Kaloof says, any recommendations for a chip, max captain, and clean sheet shield? Look, we've spoken a lot about the max captain chip throughout the tournament. My position has not changed since before the tournament even kicked off, and that is that the best week to use the max captain chip, or the max captain booster, is Matchday 8, the final, and the third place playoff. That is where I am in terms of, you know, best week to use the max captain. So even if you don't want to use a clean sheet shield this week, I don't think you should use a max captain this week. Now, for your clean sheet shield, if your defense looks pretty good this week, that's, in my opinion, is a sign to use it. If you've got holes in your defense, if you've got Morocco players, Belgian players, Swiss players, even Norwegian players, if you've got players like Medina, who you're not sure they're going to start, or Lorente, or, I don't know, anyone who you think is, you know, maybe not going to start. If you've got problems in goal as well, then that's probably a good sign that you shouldn't use your clean sheet shield, unless you can fix that situation with transfers. I don't know if I'd take crazy hits to fix it, but maybe one hit. If you can fix it all with one hit and suddenly your defense is brilliant, use that clean sheet shield. But if not, it might be a case. I think there's still some utility in the clean sheet shield next round. I think I do prefer it this round, but I do think next match day there is still going to be some use for the clean sheet shield, genuinely. I think there's still points to be had. Certainly more points than were available last match day. I mean, what a disaster. What a disaster. But I'm going to be using my clean sheet shield this match day. And that's because I feel that I can get my defense to a reasonably good position. I say reasonably. I'll say it. A very good position. A position I'm happy with. A position I'm confident in. You know, say it with chest, Dan. Come on. Stop being humble. I like my defence, with the exception of Dan Burn. But he will be replaced by the deadline. You got 81 points. What do you mean, a disaster? Oh, no, my friend. I got 81 points without the clean sheet shield. Those who... I mean, I would love... Anyone out there? There's how many of you guys are here in the chat right now? There is 1,400 people in the chat right now. Share your stories if you used the clean sheet shield in Matchday 5. Share your stories. What happened? How many points did you gain from it? Because everything I've seen online suggests that it was an absolute unprecedented disaster. And honestly, quite unlucky. Very unlucky, really. Very unlucky, really. So, yeah. Matchday 5 clean sheet shield users. Share your stories in the chat, please. And we'll read some of them out. Also, please like the stream. Gotta like this stream. We've got to get to 500 likes today as a minimum. I think we can do 1,000 likes if we put our hearts in it today. I think we can do that. I think that's possible. But we'll see. We'll see. But drop a like. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Right, let's check out some of your stories. I don't want to hear how many points you got with or without the clean sheet shield. I want to know how many points you got from the clean sheet shield. How many points did the clean sheet shield benefit you with? So, Noel says, clean sheet shield scored me an additional 0 points. Damn, man. And Nav says, I used it last round and it was such a waste. Brian says, I used the clean sheet shield and got 0 points. Either defenders conceded more than 2 goals or got a clean sheet anyway. What else we got here? FPL Joe is here as well. Still here. 0 points, Dan. 0. I am sad. 30 players earned points. 14 with midfielders. 0 defenders above 5% ownership. The 12 defenders below 5% ownership were owned by no one and didn't even earn scouting bonus for those who did. Yeah. It was an unprecedented disaster. Riz haha says, I got 15 points from it thanks to Cucurella, Magnon and Sanchez. No, you didn't, my friend. You didn't get any points from those players because those players kept clean sheets regardless, without the benefit of the clean sheet shield. The most I've seen is like if someone had like a Trossard, it's like they got like 1. Oh, and this is a good point actually, guys, because I didn't even really consider this, but your midfielders are covered by clean sheet shields as well. So, for example, last week, a few people who had like a Belgian midfielder, like Trossard, for example, he obviously conceded the 1 goal to the US. And if you played your clean sheet shield, you would have got 1 point from that. So it's something. It's something. Yeah, Kabasi starts 100%. Panther King got 0. Clean sheet shield is a poor boost. Good luck with yours. There is, and a lot of people have said, and I've been, chatting to some people on social media about the clean sheet shield, and a lot of people who have already used it have kind of said it's a terrible chip, it's a terrible booster, it's a terrible idea, it was never going to work, and anyone who's using it next week, they're not going to get any points either. I think we need a sample size of 2 match days before we kind of commit to that position. Let's see what happens this match day, because I still think there is a chance that it could work, particularly as the odds do kind of suggest that a lot of these teams are going to concede just once. Like, I think England will concede once. That's the most likely that's the statistically most likely scenario, that England concede once. And you wouldn't put it past Switzerland to put a goal past Argentina, considering how many goals they've been conceding. Spain are great and have kept clean sheets every game, but let's not forget that Belgium are a good team. They're projected 1.01 goals this match day. And if they were to score that goal, that one goal that they're projected, then again, you're going to get clean sheet shield benefits from Spain there as well. So I think it could, I genuinely think it could work. And it's not going to be it's not going to work for everyone. It's not going to gain you 100 points. It's not going to gain you 50 points. Might not even gain you 20 points. But if you can get the shield working well for 2 of your defenders, it's something, right? It's something. Soham says, I'm doing Vinny to Yamal, Dest to O'Reilly, Munoz to Martinez, and Pulisic to Bellingham. I'm forced to do Hakimi to Jed Spence for -3. Wouldn't go for Jed Spence. I'm not convinced enough that he'll start. To be honest. There's got to be another way. I would rather take a punt on like a Tagliafico or a Molina than Jed Spence right now. Because even if Spence does start, I mean, one, it could be Konsa at right back. There's a very good chance Konsa starts at right back. There is a non-zero chance that Reece James is available and he plays at right back. And even if neither of those scenarios happen and Spence does start for England, then what about next match day? What about the match day after that, man? What happens next? Mr. Guju says that's what was statistically predicted with Argentina versus Egypt, but here we are, lol. But that's kind of my point, man. It was a statistical anomaly. The maybe last match day, the fact that everyone either conceded 0 goals or 2 goals, I mean, if you averaged all of them out, they conceded 1 goal on average, right? So it was just one of those statistical things that happens. How about Elvedi? I mean, if you want to, but I think Argentina will score. Do you think Kwanzaa's suspension damages the double England defence at all? Not really, because I don't think Kwanzaa was ever first or really second choice right back or even third choice right back in this England team. It's just kind of incidental that he's kind of found himself there. And I don't think the drop off in quality between him and, you know, a Konsa at right back, or, you know, the prospects of Reece James coming back, there's still a potential there, or Jed Spence maybe playing there. I don't think there's, you know, really too much difference there. Konsa is suspended. Kwanzaa is suspended. Konsa. I may need to enunciate myself a little bit more. Is Saibari a good pick? No, he's not starting, unfortunately. A lot of people reminding me that Manzambi is injured. I am very, very aware that Manzambi is injured. I just don't really care. To be totally honest, guys, I'm happy to play with 4 midfielders. I'm happy to play with 4 midfielders rather than take a -3. Midfielders, particularly at that kind of price tag, are terrible. And my thought process really behind keeping Manzambi is I basically have a choice to make. I can either replace him with someone like Gordon for a -3, but then like, what happens next? What happens after that? What if I've taken a -3, Gordon scores 3 points? Okay, I've taken a -3, but gained 3 points. But then, have I actually gained anything? Because I could have just used one of my bench players who maybe scored 2 or 3 points. So, you really do need, if you are taking a -3, you need to be pretty convinced that the replacement is going to not just outscore, but significantly outscore the player you're removing. And I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 points, you know, at minimum. And whilst there's not really many scouting bonus midfielders that are interesting, there's no midfielders really below 8 million who are without issue. And they all have some kind of concerns in various ways. I just don't think it's worth it. But some of you guys may disagree. And if that is the case, by all means. Did I say 6-7? Apologies. I can't believe I missed it. But, like, yeah, if you feel differently and you are confident by some of the cheaper midfielders, then absolutely go for it. But I'm not. I'm happy to just deal with it next match day. And by the way, there is still a small chance Manzambi does play. This is Steve with a super chat here. Says, Due and Enzo or Elise and McAllister? Elise and McAllister for me. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that answer too. Enzo or Gordon or Trossard? Choose one. I think Gordon. Is this my final team? Nope. It is not. Kabasi is a steal. He is good value for money, but he has, you know, no attacking threat. So you're pretty much looking for that 7-pointer kind of as a ceiling. Which for some of you, like, you know, that's maybe what you're looking for. If you know you're winning your leagues right now, you don't really need to go for the kind of high upside picks, but I'm looking to push it a little bit further. I'd rather go for someone like O'Reilly or Romero, who I perceive to have a little more attacking threat. Bobby is online with the super chat. Says, honestly, not too sold on England. Nobody outside of England is. Don't worry, you're not alone. They seem somewhat lackluster. Any O'Reilly and Bellingham alternatives that are not on screen? Yeah, I mean, loads. If you don't like England, you want to go for a different country's midfielder, you could go for Yamal, you could go for Olmo, you could go for Due, at that, you know, kind of, to be fair, like at any price range, really. You could go for Enzo Fernandez. I'm not convinced any of those names I mentioned are better than Bellingham as a pick. I don't think, I think it's a little, but again, maybe this is unfair. And maybe I'm talking with England bias. But I've not really seen anything from Bellingham that suggests that him as an individual, because remember, we're picking individuals, we're not picking entire teams. Has Bellingham been lackluster? I think he's been very good. I've really been enjoying his box crashing and his energy, you know, looking to find those chances and taking them and scoring them. I think it's harsh to say O'Reilly is lackluster in the sense that, you know, he is statistically in the top 3 most attacking defenders remaining in the game. And the drop-off from 3rd to 4th is quite significant. So, like, if you don't like him, is it just you just don't like England? But also, remember, we're picking individuals. I think, actually, at times, Argentina have looked not great, actually. But Messi has looked amazing, certainly if we're looking for fantasy points. Because his goal scoring, you know, shooting has not dropped off at all. Creatively, maybe not quite the same player, but like great for fantasy if you keep scoring goals. But I'm judging Messi as an individual. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen pretty consistently this tournament. England bad, don't pick Kane. England bad, don't pick Bellingham. England bad, don't pick, you know, this, that, and the other. But they're delivering, so why not? Forever Mr. Gunner with a super chat says, shield activated, Medina -3 or keep. Who instead? Depends on your budget, man. I can only advise if I know how much budget you have, but I'd be looking for Romero, Martinez, Cucurella, Laporte, Kabasi, Pedro Porro potentially there. I'd be looking at the France defenders, Koundé, Upamecano, Digne. But yeah, I would try and sell. If you're on a clean sheet shield, I would personally, and please do not misinterpret this as me saying Medina definitely won't start. I just think it is unlikely that he'll start. And if you're using your clean sheet shield, you kind of do need defenders that you can be happy and confident in that they will start. So, yeah, for that reason, I would very much be looking to remove Medina if on a clean sheet shield. Hakimi to Kabasi for a hit to fund Gordon, or just go for a cheap mid like Tielemans or Ketelatera, however you say his name. I don't know, man. It's hot. It's so hot in this room. What would I do? I think I maybe take the hit. I'd maybe take the hit. What's your final team going to be? You'll have to wait and find out, Drizzle. You are going to have to wait and find out. I know, you're very, very keen. I've seen you in the chat today. Please let me see your team. What's your final team? Is this going to be your final team? What changes are you making between now and deadline? This is your final team, yeah? Have you done your final team, Nate? Look at your final team so I can see your final team. I get it. I get it. You want to copy it. I'm sure a few people in the chat relate. Many more will not. But I'm afraid you are going to just have to wait another 40 minutes in case there's any changes. Because, if a France defender gets injured in the warm-up, something like that, I'm obviously going to change my plans. I will, as always, wait until the last minute to try and get as much information as possible. Who gets injured in the warm-up? Lots of people, Drizzle. Lots of people get injured in the warm-up. It happens more often. In the last FPL season, throughout the year, I got 3 players injured in the warm-up throughout the season. You can get really unlucky. It happens. And I will take every edge I can get rather than trying to appease copycat managers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you want to copy my team, I can't stop you. But what I'm not going to do is put myself at any, even tiniest disadvantage in order to try and help those kind of managers. Mic drop. Is taking -6 viable? It depends what you're doing with it. If you've got a lot of significant problems in your team and you're addressing them and turning a bad situation into a good situation, then yeah, it's viable. But if you're just moving players sideways or, replacing your backup goalkeeper or, just making changes that are kind of luxurious a little bit, then absolutely not worthwhile. So I don't think there's one straight answer there. Do transfers roll to the next match day? They do not. But William, I am very impressed that you feel that you may be able to roll a transfer into the next match day. Because most of us are scrounging around, scrapping around, trying to find a way to not take hits because we're so desperate for more transfers. Can you reassure me Conser is a good pick? I cannot. He is an okay pick. I am uncomfortable calling him a good pick. If you're using a clean sheet shield, you might get some clean sheet points there, but I don't know, man. Waboof with the shining review. Top of my league, thanks to your suggestions, 5 stars. Legend, man. Thank you so much. And so happy I was able to help you throughout this tournament. We've just got a few weeks left now, my friend. We've got a few weeks now. Let's get it over the line. Forever Mr. Gunner here as well says I have 6 million, Romero or O'Reilly or someone else. If you're using the clean sheet shield, I think I would be more tempted to go for O'Reilly because I see him as a player with higher upside, better attacking threat. But if you're not using your clean sheet shield or you want to play things just a little bit safer, I would go for Romero. So it is in many ways up to you and your situation. They're both good picks. And yeah, go for whoever convinces you more. Surely you have your Matchday team locked in already. Matchday 77 team locked in already. We'll find out. I mean, I don't know if there's quite that many Matchdays. Who's more nailed, O'Reilly or Molina? O'Reilly is more nailed on to start than Molina is. Yeah, there's no doubt there. If you're just looking for minutes, I'd prefer O'Reilly. How many free transfers do we get next round? Five. So yeah, this is why I'm kind of okay with leaving a Vargas in, leaving a Manzambi in. We can address that next week. We have 5 free transfers. Hopefully there won't be too many upsets. But like if one of Spain, France, England, or maybe not France, but if one of Spain, England, or Argentina get knocked out, I'm going to be able to remove the 2 or 3 players from that team and Manzambi and Vargas using my 5 free transfers. So as long as France qualify and 2 of Spain, Argentina, and England qualify, I think it's pretty likely that will happen. I'm chilling. I'm absolutely chilling Matchday 6. Which is, part of the master plan. We'll see how much of a master plan it is, depending on how my rank ends up by the end of the tournament. But it's been a climb. Let's say that. It's been a climb throughout the tournament for me. And hopefully that can continue. But Dan, hypothetically, if France loses, you'll be in a bad position. Yes, that absolutely. If France lose, I'm in a bad position. But if I'm going to be confident of one team, it is going to be France for me. Like, who else can you be confident in if not France? Like, they're the favourites for the whole tournament, man. Tomovic with a super chat says Muller Wolf worth a shout using the shield and a -3. No. Nah. I think England will score multiple times against Norway. Norway are not a particularly strong defence. I think Nyland has bailed them out of a lot of situations of not conceding even more goals than they have. But they've not kept a clean sheet all tournament regardless. And that's with, penalties being missed against them, one-on-ones being missed against them, some amazing chances saved from the goalkeeper. Yeah. Certainly not for a -3. Which chip are you playing? Drizzle, do you not watch my videos, man? Every video I've been super clear about which chip I'm playing. You can't just turn up on a deadline stream looking to copy someone's team and strategy. Anyway. Will Manzambi and Danburn play? I doubt it. I don't think either of them will, really. So I really, really do not recommend picking Danburn in your team. Like, I cannot be more clear. Do not buy Danburn. Do not buy him. He is a dreadful, dreadful fantasy pick. And even if you have him, sell him. Yeah, definitely don't pick Danburn. Oh, awful pick. Yikes. Great in the dressing room, though. Porro versus Koundé. I think I prefer Koundé. Gives me a little more security, I think. Is Elvedi a good shout for a differential cheap defender? Not really. Do we really think that Switzerland are going to keep a clean sheet against Argentina? I don't know, man. How can you possibly know what he's like in the dressing room? What do you mean? Dressing room presence, man. That's why he's in the England squad. It is known. It is known. Tagliafico expected to start from Gaston Edul. Who on earth is Gaston Edul? Oh. Well, he looks pretty reliable to me. Account based in Argentina. 1.2 million followers and a lot of people here following. Where are we seeing this? Okay, yeah, here we go. We're 2 days away from the World Cup quarterfinals. The national team already trained today. There are no signs of many changes in the lineup to play against Switzerland. Tagliafico and Paredes would remain in the starting 11. The tests are the only training left tomorrow. Training is the only test left tomorrow, I guess. Scaloni will speak tomorrow at the Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Craig says, I bought in Dina, O'Reilly, Kukurea, and Yamal. Quite happy with these transfers. Yeah, I would be. I like those moves. I like those moves a lot, Craig. Yeah. Like all of them, actively like all of them, not just they're okay. I actively like all of them. So yeah, okay. So according to Gaston Erdul, there is unlikely to be many changes, or certainly there's no signs that there'll be any changes to the Argentina lineup, which is going to mean Medina not starting. So hear that, chat. Medina not likely to start. Tagliafico or Molina. At this point, I prefer Tagliafico to Molina. And like, I'm kind of tempted to make a little switcherino. Because Tagliafico, that little confidence booster, I mean, he is eligible for scouting bonus. And he's only 4.3. So I don't know if that will potentially help me next match day as well. I'm really tempted by that move. I'm going to throw him in for now. And we're going to look. We're going to look at him. We're going to see, do we like the look of him? Does he look nice in the team, really? Does he slot in nicely? Because again, like we were speaking about earlier with Koundé, there is a significant chance that Tagliafico gets a nice like 70, 80, 90 minute sub and locks in a clean sheet and locks in his scouting bonus as well. Medina is the issue with Medina is not fitness, by the way. He's just not first choice. He never was. Tagliafico was just injured. Too much Argentina? 3 Argentina is not too much Argentina. I'd say it's just about the right amount of Argentina. This is a little risky. It is a little risky, I think, to go for Tagliafico. Am I happy with that? Or do I just want to play it safe with a shield? The other point is I might not even play that slot, to be honest. Which is a really good point. I may actually not end up playing this slot because something that's super important is that if you play 5 at the back, there's only one valid 5 at the back formation, and that's 5-3-2. So if I was to play all of my defenders in a hypothetical world where the clean sheet shield works beautifully, all of my defenders get clean sheets, well, or certainly Cucurella, O'Reilly, and mystery other French defender all get clean sheets. I think there's a good chance Cucurella, O'Reilly, and mystery third French defender will get a clean sheet. Then I'm only going to be able to sub on one of Martinez or Tagliafico / Romero. Because I'm going to play Messi above either, regardless. Georgie says, Consa surely right back and Burn starting. Centre back, Spence is bad. Well, no, it'll be John Stones will come in. So it'll be... I don't know for sure. I think I'm really in a toss-up between Consa, Spence, or Reece James because there's still a chance Reece James will be available for this game. So it could be Consa right back, could be Spence right back, could be Reece James right back. And then in centre back, probably just Mark Gahey and John Stones. The only one I'm confident about is O'Reilly will play at left back and Gahey will play at left centre back. I don't think Dan Burn really gets into the conversation. He will perhaps sub on. Is Baena nailed? Nailed is the wrong word. I don't think he's nailed, no. I think he's like 80% going to start, but like 90% getting subbed off pre-70 minutes. But he is the best you're going to get, sub 6 million. Or sub 6.1 million, technically. Do I think Haaland scores more than Harry Kane? No, I do not. I think I'm going to go for Tagliafico. over Romero. I think I've been convinced by this one. FaZe, thank you for the super sticker. I'm not sure if you meant to add in a message there, but I will keep an eye out in the chat for a message. So throw in just a free message, FaZe, please, and I'll be more than happy to reply. England not playing against an easy country. No, they're not. We are going to depend on the clean sheet shield. But no, like, I don't think that Norway have... like, really, do we really think... Do we really think that Norway have been a good defence? Anyone who's watched Norway will probably be happy to admit that they are conceding chances. So when there's 8 teams left in the tournament, I think, relatively speaking, out of the 8 teams, Norway are possibly the weakest defence left in the tournament. So going for double England attack, I'm fine with. And by the way, I really don't think I have England bias. I really don't think that I have England bias. Because last match day, I sold 2 England players ahead of Mexico. I'm just trying to get fantasy points, man. And if I think England players are the best way to get those fantasy points, then I'll get them. Kabasi or Romero? I think I prefer Romero. Romero has better clean sheet odds and better aerial threat, attacking threat, if you like. So I'm going to say Romero. But I also like Kabasi. Man, I'm glad we've only got 30 minutes till deadline because it's so hot in this room. I'm actually going to pass out any moment. Well, not any moment. In 35 minutes, I'll pass out, I think. So I'm going to get the hell out of this room as soon as deadline passes, I swear. By the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the stream, that would be massively, massively appreciated. We've got to get to 500 likes as soon as possible, really, guys. There's 1,500 of you in here. We could get to 1,000 likes with great ease. But yeah, one little click, guys. It really does help out the channel. And it is massively, genuinely massively appreciated. FaZe says Hakimi or Gehi. I mean, I don't love either, if I'm honest with you. But if I had to pick one of the two, I think I'd... Oh, I don't know. They both have their advantages. They both have their advantages. England bias says Gay. But I don't have England bias, remember? I don't love either, FaZe. I don't love either. For England, I prefer like O'Reilly. I would prefer O'Reilly to both Hakimi or Gehi. I would prefer not to have Hakimi at all. I think Gehi is okay only if you're playing a clean sheet shield. If you're not playing a clean sheet shield, I would not go for Gehi. We got Ragelin says, you've seen the French lineup? I have, yeah. Doué in, Digne in. Yeah, well, Digne was already in, but yeah, Doué coming in for Barcola. It's interesting stuff, man. PRPT Kandra says, are you taking a hit? Why not Spain defender more? What would you do with Manzambi? I'm not taking a hit. I mean, looking through the clean sheet odds, Spain do have better clean sheet odds than England, but no better than France or Argentina. So I do prefer France or Argentina for defense, particularly if I'm not going for an attacking defender. But I like O'Reilly for his attacking threat. That's why I'm picking O'Reilly, because of attacking threat. And I think when you combine the clean sheet odds with the clean sheet shield odds, I guess, and his attacking threat, I think he is more valuable than anyone from Spain. He's cheaper as well than anyone from Spain. So I do prefer Argentina defenders and France defenders, generally speaking, to Spanish ones. But there's also nothing wrong with Spain defenders. Like it is just a case of you can't have everyone. You've just got to pick who you have just that slight more confidence in, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Tolganese says Simon, Nyland, Dina, Romero, Cucurella, Port, Martinez, Doué, Elise, Dembele, Bellingham, Baena, Mbappe, Oyarzabal, Haaland. Should I get Kane or Messi in for Oyarzabal? Yeah. No, actually, no. You should get Kane or Oyarzabal in for Kane or Messi in for Haaland, I think. Like, you have three... the thing is, I can't say this. People love Haaland. I get it. If you love Haaland, who am I to tell you don't pick Haaland? But also, I would say that he's probably the 5th best forward. He is a good forward, and maybe there's not a huge amount between Haaland, Messi, Oyarzabal, but Messi and Oyarzabal are also cheaper than Haaland. So, my honest answer is, I think Haaland's great, but he's the 5th best forward in my opinion. And if you're on a wild card, if it was my team, I wouldn't be able to fit him in. Now, if we could have more forward slots, then great, yeah. But yeah, I don't think I'd be able to fit him in. So yes, I would bring in Kane or Messi, but it would not be for Oyarzabal. It would be for Haaland. And that's my opinion. And all I can do is give my opinion. How can you be so sure that O'Reilly is starting? Where is all of this doubt around O'Reilly starting coming from? Like, there's been so many people kind of saying, are you sure about O'Reilly? Are you sure about O'Reilly? Well, are you sure about his minutes? Is he nailed? Yeah. Like, he's like one of the most nailed on players in the entire England team. He's one of 2 defenders out of 4. There's four England are going to play with 4 defenders. It's only really Gahey and O'Reilly. Gahey didn't even start the first game. O'Reilly's probably more nailed on than him. O'Reilly is so nailed. He's so good for minutes. He's fine. Don't worry about it, guys. Chill out. Come on. Kick your feet up on the desk. And chill. Put some sunnies on. I'll put some sunnies on. Can't see very much. Would you take a hit to get Hakimi out? Probably not. Why are you shouting? Oh, I do apologize. I just have a lot of energy. I enjoy doing the YouTube and doing the streaming. Sorry, maybe I'm getting a little bit too excited. And if that is the case, I can only apologize. Not Romero over Tagliafico. No, I'm leaning Tagliafico now. Think Medina could come back in for defensive stability. Well, according to Gaston Edul, the contrary is true. That there is unlikely to be any changes from the last game, which means Tagliafico remains. That's the way it is. Also does suggest that Molina will start. Is he credible? Yes. Do you keep Molina? Yeah, I keep Molina, yeah. Yamal or Elise? Genuinely, I think I prefer Yamal for this match day. For this particular match day, I prefer Yamal. But from next match day, I prefer Elise. If you do prefer Romero, by all means, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Who are you picking? Olmo, Baena, or Gordon? Maybe Gordon, if I had the choice between the 3. Keep Barcola. I mean, I don't think I'd take a hit to remove him, but yeah, I would probably be ideally looking to remove Barcola if possible. I mean, he's so expensive, so it's even a hit may be worth it. If you can get him to like a Bellingham or a Yamal, I probably would. Dino or Tagliafico? Dino seems more sensible. Is Consa nailed, mate? I don't think Consa is 100% nailed, no. But like 95, maybe 90% nailed. What position he'll play in is another question. Machine Guns Joe says, hey, 2 spots, Kunde and Kabasi or Dina and Porro. Oh, the fun one is Dina and Porro. The boring and safe and sensible one is Kunde and Kabasi. This match day, I think Dina and Porro are the better 2 picks. But later down the line, the security of Kunde and Kabasi could be comfy. But no, let's say Dina and Porro. I'm going to give you an exciting answer. Tagliafico over Kunde. No, I don't think so. I think if money is no issue, I do prefer Kunde over Tagliafico. Gordon or Rice? Definitely Gordon. What about Molina? Could do. Could do. I think I prefer Tagliafico. If I already have Bellingham, Yamal, Elise, what options can I swap for Barcola? Dembele is pretty much it, unfortunately. DH Taylor says I have Hal, Medina, Barcola, and 5 limited players, including both goalkeepers. Pray for me. I will pay up. I will very much pray for you, my friend. H Taylor. I really will. Beardes with a super chat. Hey, mate, 2 free transfers, 1.3 in the bank. Current defense is Medina, Martinez, Hakimi, Konsa, Dest. Downgrade Hakimi to Kukurea and Dest to O'Reilly. Keep Medina, sell Medina and Dest, and keep Hakimi, no Spain D. Those are a lot of words, Beardes, but I'm going to try and work through this. Martinez is fine. Konsa's fine. Dest and Medina have got to go, but the way you fund that is by selling Hakimi. If you're playing your clean sheet shield, I would try and make 3 moves here and remove all of Medina, Dest, and Hakimi. If you have some money in the bank, though, you could keep Hakimi and sell Medina and Dest. Get in an O'Reilly, someone who's reasonably cheap. Get in a Tagliafico, maybe. They may be affordable. Or if you can afford a France defender, I'd definitely go for France defender if you can afford that. Why do you keep Manzambi? Because I just don't see him being worth the transfer. There's no other midfielders I really like, so I'm happy to just take the L and leave him on my bench. I'm happy to do it. It's a clean sheet shield week as well, so I'm planning on playing a heavy defense structure by the end of the match day, so I'm really hoping that I'm not going to need Manzambi regardless. And I don't want to take a hit to, change him to someone else. Desta O'Reilly leaves me with Medina and 0.9 in the bank, mate. Okay. You have some options then. You go all the way to Romero if you want security of minutes. You can't quite get to... Okay, instead of O'Reilly, what you could do in that case, if my maths is correct, you could, if you're not confident about O'Reilly, and by the way, I'd only pick O'Reilly if you're using a clean sheet shield. You could do instead... Tagliafico and Kabasi, or Tagliafico and Kunde, Upamecano, Dina as well. You have options. But if you go for Tagliafico, you can go for like a pretty decent France / maybe Spain defender. And if you're not on a clean sheet shield, that's what I would do. Oh, you are on a clean sheet shield. Okay. You support the Swiss. Well, I mean, to be honest, if you go for O'Reilly, well, pretty much in any combination, you're going to have to pick an Argentina defender. the way I see it. Unless I'm missing some information, it's going to have to be Tagliafico or O'Reilly, because those are the 2 best cheap defenders remaining in the tournament. Other than Martinez, who you already have, of course. How do clean sheets and extra time work? Same. It all counts. It all counts the same. It's only penalties that don't count. Is Romero fit? He is. He is. Enzo or McAllister? I still think I slightly prefer McAllister. Sinan Gilmez says, have my clean sheet, similar team to yours. Clean sheet now in the semis. If you've got a similar team to mine, I mean, I'm using my clean sheet shield. So if I had a team that was similar to mine, I would imagine I would still use a clean sheet shield. So I'm going to say now. Anyone talking about the max captain in chat? I would save the max captain for Matchday 8 if possible. Did we hit 500 likes yet? I actually don't have it on my screen, my like counter. Like, there isn't one. Why is that? I don't know. No, we didn't. 413. Right, I'm not locking my team in until we hit 500 likes. I'm sorry. 431. Okay, we are getting there. Better. Come on, guys. We've got to do this. We've got to do this. The WDR says is Manzambi fit. He is not really. It's so unlikely that he starts. There's a small chance he gets some minutes off the bench, but it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. Take my like, haha, McAllister or Baena. I think I still prefer Baena. 524. All right, now we're talking business. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. No, that's awesome. Thank you, guys. Nice one. What chip am I playing? Clean sheet, shield. Is having 3 Argentina defenders stupid? Well, I mean, look, the Argentina have the best clean sheet odds for this match day, so no, not really. Now let's get to 1K. There is no way we can get to 1,000 likes. There'll be too many. There's 1,600 people watching right now. Most of them will be kind of on other apps on their phone or, you know, watching on a TV whereby the like button is not super easily accessible without kind of fiddling around a little bit. Or they'll be, you know, at the gym or something with this in the background, playing some video games maybe. So, yeah, there's unfortunately not enough people here to hit 1,000 likes. I like the idea, though. I like the idea. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to lock in the team because I'm pretty happy at this point that no one's got injured in the warm-up, which is positive. It happens. It really does happen. But I'm happy now with that. Like targets hit. I think I'm convinced with who I'm going for. I think I'm convinced in Tagliafico over Romero for a couple of different reasons. And I think this looks good. For a clean sheet shield week, I think this looks good. Thoughts on De Ketelaere? I'm not super keen. I'm not really super keen. I expect Spain to win in that game. It feels like a bit of a knee-jerk kind of transfer, to be honest. So not something I'd be looking at. Thoughts on Gordon? I don't mind Gordon. I actually quite like Gordon as a pick. He's not without his issues. He's not a perfect pick, but, you know, unless you're at kind of 8 million plus, you're not going to be a perfect pick. So, yeah, decent pick. Do I take a -3 to remove Hakimi to get Digne and Romero? Alternatively, I keep Hakimi and have to get Molina and go stout Digne. Go without Digne, maybe? Can you go for Tagliafico as well? So basically, would I just so what? Who would you be replacing Hakimi with? That's what I'm a little confused about. So you're selling Hakimi to get Digne and Romero, or you're keeping Hakimi to get Molina. Oh, I see. Okay, I think I get it. I mean, it's one of those frustrating questions where I don't really think there's a clear answer. You already have Tagliafico. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that sways me a little bit. Maybe I would take the -3. Yeah, maybe I'll take the -3. But like, I don't think that is a clear answer there. I'm not like confident in that answer, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, I wish I could be. Some questions I'm super like I'm confident in my answering, but that one not so much, unfortunately. Yeah. Thoughts on Douay captain? I'm -30 points of my mini league. No, if you're that far off, you don't need to go as far as Douay. Just go for an Elise or Dembele instead of Mbappe. Go for a Bellingham instead of a Kane. Go for a Cucurella instead of a Yamal, or maybe go for an Oyarzabal. I think go for Messi on the last day regardless. But yeah, 30 points, 3 match days left. You need to catch up 10 points each match day. It is very doable without doing anything too crazy. Yeah, it's basically a 50-50, Billy. It is a 50-50. Hakimi or Koundé? I do prefer Koundé. Right, let's lock this in. Save. So, Dest, Hakimi, Halal, and Pikesau Vinny Jr. out for Tagliafico, O'Reilly, Koundé, and Hey Jude. Welcome to the team. Confirmed transfers. And now, I'm going to switch on Messi in for Tagliafico. I'm going to keep Magnon vice captain. We're going to go Mbappe captain. Yes. And we will sub off as necessary. Who will be my second goalkeeper? No one. No one. If Magnon concedes more than once, I'm in trouble. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's highly unlikely that will happen. I'm happy to take the chance. I'm happy to take the chance that France will only concede once. Which will be good with me. Which will be absolutely fine with me. Right. So yeah, just a reminder, guys. The only valid, if you're playing your clean sheet shields, particularly, the only valid formation with 5 at the back, with 5 defenders, is 5-3-2. So if you're planning on playing with 5 defenders, then you will play with 2 attackers. My plan is to play with a maximum of 4 defenders because I'd rather play Messi on the final day. Although, you know, if it turns out Messi is injured or something, I can just swap him out as well. Or the only other way is if one of Kane or Mbappe blanks. If one of Kane or Mbappe blanks, then I will play, I'm much more likely to play a 5-3-2 formation that way. But yes, be aware that if you are starting with 3 forwards, there's a very good chance you will finish with a maximum of 4 defenders. So yes, the game does not allow a 5-2-3 formation. You must have a minimum of 3 midfielders on the pitch. And that is very important to note if you are planning anything cheeky. How many points before twist? Probably like 10 or 11. I would say for Mbappe. 10 or 11 would be fine with me. I think we get to this stage of the tournament and you have to kind of manage your expectations more and more. The best scorers from last week, you know, the best of the popular captains outside of Bellingham, we had Messi on 11 points. We had Kane on 9 points. We had Mbappe on 9 points. Elise Dembele blanked. Yamal blanked. So we're getting to that stage of the tournament where we're not going to see the same like 15 pointers that we saw in the group stage. You twist, what's your plan? Cucurella. So it would be Kane. No, sorry, it would be Mbappe, Cucurella, probably Kane at that point, and then Messi. Koundé and Tagliafico, Ordina and Romero. Tagliafico keep starting. I think Tagliafico is going to start this game. I don't think there's a right answer. Both combos are totally valid. Both combos are absolutely fine. So go with your gut. Kane or Haaland, 12th man. Kane. Should probably show the bench. Oh. Sorry, I didn't even really consider that it wasn't visible. Sorry, the copiers almost were unable to copy the bench there. That would have been an absolute disaster if they were only able to copy the starting 11. What would they do? They'd have to use their brains. We know they don't have them. Dino or O'Reilly. If you have a clean sheet shield, I do think O'Reilly is the more exciting pick of the two. You know what's crazy? As soon as I log in my team, 2,000 people, 200 people left the stream immediately. Any last minute news I may have missed? Tagliafico likely to retain his starting place. And that will mean Medina stays on the bench. Obviously, we know about Barcola on the bench with Doué coming in. Dinas playing. Why not double Spain defense, Dan? It's just the way my teams ended up setting up. Who would you sub a Spain defender for? I prefer Tagliafico. I prefer Koundé. I prefer like Argentina and France defense generally to Spain. And I like O'Reilly as an individual pick. Not so much the England defense, but I like O'Reilly as an individual pick there as well. So for me, there was no room. There was no room for a second Spain defender, and I make my peace with that. Pulkich Chabra says, "Let go of the free transfer or transfer out Hakimi." Well, if you've got a free transfer, you may as well transfer out Hakimi. There's loads of options for you. Why do you think Tagliafico will start? Because reports coming from Argentina suggest that there are no plans to change the team ahead of the next fixture. Yamal or Kane? Kane. I've got 2 Spain, 2 France, and 2 Argentina, including goalkeeper. Yeah, fair enough. That's a fairly balanced way of setting up. Yarthabal or Haaland, 12th man. Genuinely think a Yarthabal has higher upside. So maybe him. Dave, thank you very much. Good luck to you as well, my friend. Poro or Cucurella? Cucurella, no brainer. Pros for a clean sheet shield next week. Players or teams may play a little more defensively. Less points will be on offer generally next week, and all teams will be playing good teams. Yeah, it certainly could work out next match day. Certainly could. Porro or Martinez? Not much in it. Not much in it. Abhinav, thank you for reminding me to drink. Much appreciated. Great content. Love the channel. Thank you very much, The Wave Dweller. Happy to help. Thank you for the message of good luck from various of you guys in the chat as well. It is massively appreciated. Sus Liquid. It's just some orange squash. It's the most normal of liquids. Kabasi or O'Reilly. Kabasi if you want to play it boring. O'Reilly if you want to play exciting. Rock and roll. Playing some rock and roll fantasy over here with Nico O'Reilly. Lemon Squash at 700 likes. I don't think so. Comedy Addicts. I do not think so. Do we get scouting bonus for exactly 5%? There is no exactly 5%. There will always be. It will display as 5%, but the reality is it will always be slightly above or below 5%. So, yeah. It's a toss-up because we don't know. It's not displayed whether the player is actually above or below 5%, but it's just rounded based on 1 decimal point to 5. So some players will get it, others won't. So we'll see. We'll see. Finbar says, Dan, I've only just found your channel and want to thank you so much. I'm finally top of my mini league because of your help. Great to hear, my friend. Great to hear. Happy to help, my friend. Thoughts so far on the latest FPL transfers, mate? Oh, my brain is not in the Premier League mode at all. I can't lie to you, my friend. I can't lie. Right, I'm going to do a quick refresh of the page just to make sure that everything is saved and correct. I advise others to do similar. Jonathan coming in last minute. Saibari Diaz out. Bob to fund and Olmo from -6. No, I don't think so. I'd maybe just sell Saibari to not Bob, to like a Baena or a Berg, which is BERG from Norway if you're looking for someone really cheap. Bob, I don't think is going to start. Dina and Molina over 5% now. Yeah, there's absolutely zero surprise there, to be honest, my friend. Trossard instead of Baena. I mean, if you want to. Yeah, if you want to. What booster should you use? Depends what your team looks like currently. Yeah, it's important that you play the right booster for your team. I don't think there's a right answer for everyone unless, you know, you've been following a specific strategy. Almost forgot to activate my chip. Right, okay. This is a very good reminder in that case, guys. We've got 1 minute until deadline. Lock the transfers in. Ensure that your booster is selected. If you're on a clean sheet booster, you should have a little shield icon in the top left there. So, double, triple, a million times check if you can that your booster is active, your bench is in the right order, your captain is on the right player. It is double checking time. Give a little refresh. And there we go. Your best 12-man pick. It depends. Like, you have a minute until deadline, man. It depends who you don't have. Like, if you don't have Mbappe, Kane, Messi, Olise, Bellingham, Yamal, maybe Haaland, maybe a Yarthabal, pick one of them. Pick the one you don't have. I like your cheeky Argentina differential, Dan. I like it as well, man. I like it as well. And it was a fairly last-minute decision as well. So hopefully it pays off. Like 30 seconds till deadline, guys. Much love from India, brother. Much love back to you, my friend. This is why I stay until the end. I almost forgot my chip. Thank you, mate. No problem, man. No problem. But, like, everyone who hasn't double-checked, do it now. Like, 20 seconds, guys. I wish I saw you went Tagliafico. I meant Molina. Yeah, well, it was a late decision to go for Tagliafico. I was convinced by the reports from Argentina. But that's going to be pretty much it, guys. 5 seconds till deadline. 4, 3, 2... Well, we're past. We're locked in, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on stream for another match day. We'll be back for... When's the next deadline? It will be on the 9th. No, that's today. The 14th. Which is what day of the week is the 14th? I don't know. But that's when I'll be back for the next stream. Until then, there'll be videos to come, of course. So, thank you again. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Good luck for this match day. Once again, let's go and get out of this boiling hot room and back into the air-conditioned areas of my house. Thank you guys so much. Cheers, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye. And thank you, Billy, for that last super chat. It's literally just came in as I clicked the outro screen. Thank you, Billy. Cheers all the super chatters as well today, guys, and the members and everyone. You guys are legends. Thank you. And yeah, enjoy the footy, guys.